You're facing 10 years in prison right now for what?
Questioning journalists from the Daily Mail. You have to understand the Daily Mail and these newspapers, they're weapons of the state. You can't question them. You can't go after them. You can't ask them the questions that they're asking you, which is all I try to do. They put a camera on me, I turn the camera around. I'm coming to ask you some questions. No, you're not. They're in fear for their life. They're in fear.
We have people that pray outside abortion clinics 100 yards away. They get 2 years in jail.
They get prosecuted, yeah.
People don't realize how bad the UK is. I mean, it's bad.
It's bad, but...
What is Starmer trying to do?
Well, 2009, when I started talking about this, since then until now, I've not had one single period in that 15, 16 years, whatever it is, I've not had one single period where I haven't been facing prison. So lawfare, which is what Alex has been hit with, it's what Donald Trump was hit with, it's the reason I played that documentary last year. So I had a court order not to show a documentary. I had a grenade showing how they operate. You see, everything we know about lawfare, it's an unholy alliance of judiciary, of politicians.
But look at that headline. Oh, you talked to reporters 10 years in jail. What is this?
Yeah,
but a girl, a 9-year-old escapes, goes to the police, they arrest her for being raped. I mean, just look how upside down that is. How do the letters of the Guardian, how do they get enough mercenaries to do this?
Well, they're all weapons of the state. They're all working for the state. Again, it's not, Britain is not a free democracy. It's not. The European Union are working against the interests of the people. They're flooding the nation with the United Nations. It's all your borders and our borders and Germany's borders and every country's borders, they weren't open by mistake. They're open. Do you know Minnesota? Just look at Minnesota. Ask yourself this question. Somalians come from the hottest place in the world, Somalia. They come into the United States. Do you think they chose Minnesota? Do you think they chose to move to the coldest place in the United States? Do you think that was a choice made by Somalians? Or do you think they were put there? Do you think they were put there in the full knowledge of how quick that community grows? So when you look at the Muslim communities...
It's a voting block.
They're bringing in voting blocks to make sure, you know your swing states. Just look at the figures. The figures of illegal immigration were upwards at almost 700% in some of those swing states. Now, if you hadn't elected Donald Trump, you never would have won an election again.
Well, that's right. Trump isn't perfect, and I get mad at him, but it's night and day. So we got to back the good he does, oppose the bad he does, but overall it's night and day.
Yeah, I can't claim to be an expert on American politics. I read what I can, I look at what I can, I've followed it. But I can be an expert on Islam and what it's going to do to your country. And
it's the exact same playbook. It's
identical. They're doing
what you've been hit with is what we're being hit with now.
The lawfare they hit with me is the lawfare they hit with you. It's the lawfare hit with Trump. The difference is I had a film. So when I had the possession of this documentary, which proved everything was a lie in a story they told, I can't go into details here because I go straight back to jail. I'm on a lie. I just come out after doing 18 months. I've got an 18-month prison sentence for a film. Now, when Alex told me not to go home, lots of people told me not to go home. I made a decision to put the British judiciary on trial. I had a vision that if I know what this film shows. If you watch this film, you know I told the truth and you know they lied. Now,
and it's them admitting you were right, admitting they were covering it up. So you went to jail for that.
If you know they lied, you then can question the results of the judiciary and the politicization of the judiciary, not just against me. Do this, okay? Americans, do this. Pick any fighter in Europe. Morten Messerschmitt is the lead name in Denmark who's opposed to European Union and mass immigration. Google his name, look at the lawfare he's faced. Court case after court case after court case.
A lot of them get shot and killed, actually, or stabbed.
Ken Paxton, look at the lawfare he faced for standing up. Look at anyone that stood up and look at the lawfare. So look at Salvini. Look at Salvini, who's Deputy Prime Minister now of Italy. He faced 6 years of relentless lawfare for standing up. They didn't get anywhere, proven wrong, but the process is the punishment. The stress, I don't know if Alex talks about the stress, what he's gone through. I know what goes on behind closed doors. I know the dark places. I know the bankruptcy. I know the effect on the family. I know the effect on the children. I know what it is. So even if you come out of it, my last 2 cases, I come out, one cost £53,000. I was cleared. I don't get the £53,000 back. I don't get my time or life back. In fact, all my energy is put into fighting a court case of which I'm innocent.
Well, then they sued and bankrupted my parents.
That's what they do. Yeah, and it hangs over your head. So they have this cloud over your head. I've had it since 2009. You tried to live with it, you tried to fight it, but here I am, come 2021. I'm taken to court. They say I lied in a story. I have all the evidence of covert recordings proving that people were paid not to tell the truth. I find out who paid them. They spent £274,000. I get all the evidence. I have this big conspiracy of the unholy alliance, how they operate, and I realise that this film is far bigger than Tommy Robinson. This film proves everything.
All right. I've been on there 32 years in April, and I was never into Hollywood, never really into sports icons and stuff. I mean, I like football and basketball and stuff, but I never got giddy when I ran into a Michael Jordan or somebody, which I did. And then Rick Linklater's not really a Hollywood guy, but he's a big director. He was a fan by 2000, put me in some of his movies with Keanu Reeves. Winona Ryder, all those people, Woody Harrelson, Morton Downey Jr., and they would invite me out to L.A., and I went to some, and I did voiceovers for video games and insurance companies, and Hollywood tried to get me on board with them. But as soon as they went, hey, Obama's in now, you need to leave him alone, these Hollywood producers, I said, I'm done. And I never really went back to Los Angeles. I refused their parties, their events. They were trying to buy me off, put me in movies. The reason I say that is most people sell out for fame. I don't care about Hollywood. In fact, now I revile it. It's collapsed. I don't get giddy or butterflies around. I mean, I've been at parties, with you name it, Brad Pitt, you name it. Back then, 15 years ago, I could care less. But when I get around people like Tommy Robinson, who are champions, and I'm not kissing your ass, but it's true.
Oh, thanks.
People that have been put in solitary confinement, tortured, their families attacked, through hell, demonized, who first exposed the Muslim grooming gangs, 250,000 girls as young as 7 raped, some killed and cut up and turned into kebabs. He first exposed it, later confirmed, mainstream news put it up. They kidnap little girls. The fathers find out, try to go save their 8, 9-year-olds. The police arrest them. Good cops do their job. They fire them. They kill people because the Pakistanis, pedophilia is like their main thing. They were providing kids for the elites. This guy, going back to 2009, I want you to talk about yourself here because you never do this. You're literally patient zero. You're not just Paul Revere ringing the alarm. You saw this in your town. You witnessed it with your family. You stood up to them. They attacked you. Countless videos of these people ganging up on you, Antifa Muslims. And there you are like a lion taking on 10 people, beating the living shit out of them. Then they arrest you for defending yourself. I mean, you're a goddamn hero. Excuse my French. But, it's just amazing. I think we should start at the beginning about yourself and then what it's like to see the vindication now. And about a year and a half ago, whenever it was, they were going to throw you back in prison again in solitary confinement. They stick you in the Muslim wing because you refused to shut up, and you taped them secretly in court admitting that everything you said was true about the Muslim grooming gangs. That's now all confirmed. And then I said, don't go back, Tommy. Don't go back. You were in the Caribbean. And you said, no, I'm innocent. I don't care if I'm a martyr. You went back and were put in solitary confinement again for however a year or whatever. I mean, I saw you when you came out one time after a couple of years in it. You'd lost, 20 stones or whatever it is. And you could see that 1,000-yard stare of like our airmen that we get shot down and, kept 10 years in Vietnam being tortured. I could see it. And you admitted it almost broke you mentally, but you're stronger than ever. I mean, you have literally fought and bled, and as a soldier in the fight for the West, I mean, I just, you're everything I admire. You're an example to everybody else. Our heroes should not be basketball players and soccer players, and they should not be that. It should be men and women that stand up for humanity and go through hell and cannot be bought and controlled and then inspire people. And you have done that. Millions hit the street now. This is so exciting. Elon Musk champions you. It is incredible. Tommy Robinson.
What an introduction, man.
It's true, though. Hey, it's no brag when it's fact.
I'm not used to that, Alex, so thank you very much. I'm used to getting condemned.
No, you're used to chicken shit, fake conservatives running you down, trying to steal what you and others have built.
Yeah.
But I'm going to shut up. Look at the camera. You're in charge now. Tell us about Tommy Robinson. Start at the beginning.
I was born in Luton Town, a town that's 30 miles north of London. When I was born, there was one mosque, there's now 45. I come to America in 2011 to give a speech called A Warning to America. The reason being is that I wish someone come to my town 30 to 40 years ago and told me what was going to happen, how it's going to happen, how they're going to succumb to them, how they take over, how they operate, the way the politicians bend to them, the way the police bend to them. I wish someone warned us. So I come with that warning, which is what I'm bringing now. I'm not talking about what I read in the book. I'm talking about my life experience. I'm talking about seeing my town decay, the experiencing of rape gangs. So very early on, I realized growing up in Luton, there was something very different about the Pakistani community. It was like oil and water. You were mixing two things that didn't mix. And Luton is a town full of migrants or sons of migrants. My mum was an Irish migrant. Many of my friends are St. Lucian, Bulgarian, Italian, Jamaican. We've all come from backgrounds of migration. But per se, it works. It works okay. integrated, assimilated each of the communities. Everyone bonds together, but there was one community that didn't. It was the Islamic community. You're going to experience this, America. You need to understand what your borders have been open to. You had Hispanic, you had Mexican immigration, which I know caused its problems in the numbers they come in with criminality, with things like this. But what Joe Biden's opened your country to, you have no...
Yeah, Mexicans are like angels compared to Muslims.
I wish we had them. I remember I kept saying, give us Mexicans, right? If you're going to flood our country, don't flood it with Islamic immigration. It's a whole different ball game. So your border's been open to Eritreans, Pakistanis, Syrians, Iraqis, all of these different Somalis, and there's no integration coming or assimilation. There's domination coming. And
it's their book. It's their plan.
It's their plan, and I didn't understand their plan. Do you know when I understand it, Alex? So I grew up thinking Pakistan is very different. You have a fight of one, you've declared war on the whole tribe. They act differently, they're aggressive, they're hostile, they're violent towards us, they don't like us. Something's very different. And I just thought it was Pakistanis, if I'm honest, growing up as a child. It was only when I spent 22 weeks in solitary confinement that a Muslim outreach organisation sent me in the Quran.
Yeah, but let's go back to the tanning salon you own and them trying to recruit your family and stuff.
Yeah.
Start at the beginning. You were like the first guy to blow the whistle. They were running rape gangs.
Yeah, so the first time I mentioned this was in 2004. And it was after the Beslan school massacre. Do you remember the Beslan school massacre?
Yes.
If you don't remember it, that basically, and this is coming to Europe, it's going to happen, maybe come to America. They're going to take over a school and they're going to massacre children. That's what they're going to do. That's what they've done in Beslan. Jihadists took over a school and Russian families were outside the school and their children are inside the school. I can still see it now. I can visually see it. Mothers were dropping to their knees as they were hearing their children being butchered in the school. Now, I watched that and saw that it wasn't one man that done this. So this wasn't a crazy individual. This was a large group of men that shared an ideology. Now, when I saw that, I thought, I need to know that ideology. I need to understand, where's that come from? Where's that hatred and where's that poison come from that makes them justified in this attack? That was the moment. Most of us have a moment that opened your eyes. Once you open your eyes, you all know this. Alex, you know this. You can't close them. Once you understand the danger and the future of what's going to happen, you can't close them.
It clicks.
It clicks. It clicks. And even if you want to close them, you can't. How can you? How can you when I understand what's coming? So I looked at this group, and then 3 weeks later, I see a group of Muslims in a chicken shop in my town getting interviewed online. This is when I was watching a video, and they said that an attack like that would be justified in England. Now, for me, I looked at those men. I said, I want to know who they are. What is this group? That's when I understood al-Mujahideen. Al-Mujahideen are now a prescribed...
You saw men in your town supporting murdering elementary students.
It's justified. Now, so you understand as well, I never got a chance to talk about my upbringing when I started the English Defence League, which was a street protest movement. I got my first chance in 2014 in Oxford University, and I took people through my journey. Do you know, after September 11th, do you know what we had in my shops, my local shops? And I show the pictures of this. They put banners up and posters up of the Magnificent 19. They celebrated in my town centre. They celebrated in the colleges. The hatred and the celebration for the attack against America, I watched in my hometown. So I understood the aggression, the violence from this group. But when I started looking at al-Mujahideen, and it come together, the street level jihad, which was by gangs and Pakistanis using drugs as weapons, kidnapping our daughters. My cousin was 13 or 14 years old. She woke up naked in a house being raped by lots of men with big beards. She run naked from the house. Now, the police, I can remember the family discussions. I can remember the turmoil within the family. The police done nothing. Now, this is going to sound so far-fetched to you. No one believed me. When I started talking about this on the streets, no one believed me. I sat on chat shows and I got condemned. I got laughed at, belittled. And now every single thing that I said has been proven as correct. But I tried talking about it. They call you racist. They call you an extremist. But al-Mujahideen were the terrorist organisation. I started looking into them. I found that their head office...
By the way, slow down. This is important. You told this on my show like 15 years ago, but I haven't heard you tell it since. How did they get her? Because we now know they drug drinks, they grab girls, they hit them over the head. Did she even know how she woke up being gang raped?
Well, what they call now is grooming. They call it grooming. It's not grooming, it's a rape jihad. Yeah, it's happening in every country across Europe, and it's coming here. It's already here. Your borders have been open. The enclaves are being set up. The money's coming in. They're building entire enclaves. Those enclaves, the men will come out. They'll kidnap. And how it starts...
And by the way, they said on Palestinian TV, their imams, they say, they're infidels. We grab their daughters, make them sex slaves, put them in our harems, and then we sell them as sex slaves. That's how they make their money. Millions of Europeans were kidnapped by Muslims in the last 1,400 years and shipped all over the world. This is their business.
Muhammad did it. Muhammad did it. So it's sexual slavery. 4 times in the Quran it says very clearly, outside their 4 wives, they can take whatever the right arm possesses, the arm of the sword, and they can take them as war booty. actually, one of the verses actually says they're blameless for doing it. So it's justified. When Boko Haram kidnapped 200 Nigerians, they told you very clearly, the leader of Boko Haram stood on TV and said, Muhammad and Allah have commanded us to do this. When ISIS took the Yazidi girls, you can look at any conflict anywhere in the world, that's what they do. And
they would rape girls as young as 5 to death.
That's what they're doing now. They're doing it now in my country.
So back to your cousin, she wakes up being gang raped by Pakistanis.
So what happens is it's a process, and it's happening here. It's a process where young Pakistanis or young Muslim Arabs who drive nice cars because they're selling drugs, they have money, they have things, they get the young girls from 11 or 12, they start befriending them, they start giving them cigarettes, they start giving them alcohol. And it could be a 6-month process, it could be a 12-month process. They get the girl into a position where she falls in love. She falls in love with an older man, and the older man is treating her, and then it's a slow, and this is the identical process. I can tell you. So a girl that I know got involved in this, and then I sat with her friend, and she said, "Have you heard about Caroline?" I said, "Don't tell me." And I went through every process of what they done, and she said, "How do you know?" And this process starts with money, starts with wealth. They buy the girls trainers, they buy them a new phone, they give them cigarettes, they give them alcohol. Most of the Muslims run businesses and they run all the taxis, as they do here, because I've seen it when I've been to some of your cities. They run all the taxis. The taxis act as a network to ferry these girls from one place.
And the police protect them.
Everyone protects them, not just the police, the government. A total conspiracy of silence, religious leaders, political leaders, police leaders, all of them. Every institution that was formed to protect kids fails them, as has done here, as you've already seen with the 65,000 phone calls coming into a hotline that Joe Biden set up for missing children or trafficked children, and no one's there answering the phone. They don't care. It's a business. It's a business. And what we realise in the UK is that the government or the politicians and political power, they care about power. They don't give a shit if our daughters are being raped. They actually don't.
And like you said, Epstein's important, but overall distraction compared to something this big, cut and dry.
Well, look, yeah, everything. It's all interlinked. All of this.
Same deal.
It's the same deal. It's the same deal. The Prophet Muhammad, like Epstein's probably a teddy bear compared to the Prophet Muhammad when you look at what he did. Yeah. So this is on a worldwide scale. It's enslaved entire populations, as we've seen, entire populations. But they
estimate 2 million Spanish women were taken out by the Moors and shipped worldwide.
And the thing is, this is nothing. We can look at history and learn and understand the ideology. If you don't understand why they're doing it, you're never going to stop it. Now, it's one thing we've got somewhere. We started talking about Muslim grooming gangs. Everyone said we were lying. Everyone condemned us. We've been proven right. They called them Asian grooming gangs to take the blame away from the Muslims. We've got now where they're calling them Muslim grooming gangs. But then the question you're not allowed to ask is, why are they doing it? Why? A Muslim population imported into our nation. The Sikhs aren't doing it. The Hindus aren't doing it. The Jews aren't doing it. No other community's doing it. The figures speak for themselves. Muslim men make up 3% of the British population. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions for these sorts of rapes. Now, this is in Britain. And 30% of the men convicted are called Mohammed. Why? That's the question you have to answer. Why? Why? And no one wants to ask the question or answer the question. I know why. I've looked into why. I've done presentations on why. I've looked at the scripture. I've listened to what the men say. A Somali man who's convicted, they're doing it here in America. A Somali man who was convicted said it was his religious right to do it. He's allowed to do it. Yeah? All of the words they quote are literally.
Oh, they get interviewed all the time and admit they do it. They say we're allowed to.
Yeah, we're allowed to.
Well, they're allowed to.
We have imams in mosques telling their followers they can do it. You have imams justifying it in the United States of America. We imams across the globe. You know, in Holland they call it Loverboy. They call it Loverboy. Holland actually created a video in 2007 trying to educate, and Britain wouldn't allow that video to be showed to.
Well, what about in Wales and stuff, and also in Europe, the Germans run ads showing 14-year-old girls saying, "Come to Germany, come to Wales. We want to be your friend." The liberals have little girls do ads to entice the Muslims to come.
They done Valentine's cards. The schools organise Valentine's cards from the children to be given to the migrants, and like love letters telling them welcome to the country.
And they put a jibs on them, folks. We have video of all this. This is not a joke.
No, serious. And you have to understand where these men are coming from and what the policies are. Where, say, like for example, we've had a big flood of Sudanese migrants into our country. So in Sudan, you can marry 11. In Sudan, you can marry. This is.
But the point I'm getting at, Tommy, briefly on this, then back to your story. But this is the key to it all, because what happened to you is ground zero, and you're like you're a time traveler. It's hitting us now. You've been there. You can give us the map how to stop it, because it's a blueprint they've got, which is their weakness. It's also their strength. That the liberals, the left, opening the door. In Austin, in Round Rock, they caught them, the schools, bringing in Muslims without telling the parents to indoctrinate them and have them wear hijabs and give them Qurans outside the parents knowing. I mean, obviously the Muslims are paying for this. I mean, this is the same stuff you have all over Europe. They are literally indoctrinating.
From the age of 6, it's national curriculum. Every single school child has to visit the mosque. Every single school child. has to visit a mosque.
So why are the liberal Western governments allied with Islam?
Why? Well, we see why they allied in Iran before the Islamic Revolution. We saw what they've done in Lebanon. They come together, as they see it, as the greatest power and the greatest weapon together to overthrow the system. They want to overthrow democracy. They want to bring it down. They want to smash the system and start again.
So Islam's a sword of the globalists.
In the famous words of the great Charlie Kirk, Islam's being used as a weapon. It's been brought in here as a weapon to destroy the system and to start again. And the left should learn, the communists should learn. The first people they killed in Iran when they had the Islamic Revolution was the people who allied with them. It was the left. And the same happened in Lebanon. The same will happen here. But they're using each other. They don't like each other. They're using each other. That's the reality. The funding comes together. They operate together. It's all organised and planned.
Well, there's famous videos of a Muslim march, and the gay pride people show up and say, "We love you," and the Muslim goes, "No, I'm your enemy," and punches him in the face.
Yeah, you're next. Yeah. And there's first come Saturday, then come Sunday, which is one of their sayings. First the Jews, then the Christians. That's their sayings. That's literally how they run, and that's their global thing. But on the grooming issue, so parents understand, because there should be seminars, there should be entire populations educated. A film was created in 2007 in Holland to try and educate the Dutch population on the way the Moroccans, because in Holland it's Moroccans, in the UK it's Pakistanis, in France it's the Algerians, it's the Muslims. Yeah, so to educate them on how they groom the girl, because it's a slow process, and then what they do is their biggest weapon is they tell the girl, your parents are treating you like a child. You're a big girl. They cause a divide within the family, and many girls then start getting drunk, coming home drunk. Then they start going missing. Then they start taking drugs, and slowly it's a process. They get them hooked on drugs, so they've got them where they want them. And once they're hooked on drugs, at some point one night, 6 men rape them, and they video it. They video it, so they use Sikh girls. They video it to use as blackmail against the girl to keep her trapped. But then other girls, when the man gets her fall in love, the man will make up lies and say, "I'm in trouble. I'm in real trouble. I need you to help me. People are after me. I need you to have sex with this man." That's how it might start. Then they go into this path of just total prostitution, and some of them are 12, 13, and it's not about sexual gratification, just so you can get your head around what these men are doing and why they're doing it. It's about total domination and destruction.
They say in the Quran, it's the power over the infidel that we have your children.
Yes, right.
I can play the Palestinian TV where they go, it's this woman like, we will rape their women, we will rape their children, we will own them, we will dominate them, they are scum, we will destroy them.
Well, I always say, don't listen to what I say. You don't need to listen to what I say. Listen to what they're saying. Don't listen to what I say in America of what's coming here. Listen to what they're saying in your mosques. Listen to what he said literally after the New York mayor. He said we're about inciting murder against the infidels, sharing the same platform as the mayor of New York, who was voted in by all these liberal morons. It's insanity. But don't listen to what I say. They're quite openly telling you they're going to take over your country. Quite openly telling you they're not here to integrate or assimilate. They're here to dominate. They quite openly tell you.
Is that why they're so arrogant?
They're arrogant because I think they know that they're winning. They're arrogant because they believe they're taking over, and they don't just believe they're taking over, they are taking over. Look, we have 1,000 years of English history, 1,000 years of Christian culture, and it's been given away in 60 years by weak cowards. It's been given away. And an entire nation has been paralysed through fear of being called a racist or an extremist. It's why we're going to get on to talk about Iran. But I look at what's going on in Iran, and I look at, after January 6th.
No, listen, we'll hit all that, but I interrupt you. You have all the time you need. I interrupt you back into your start, but now. So
when my cousin went missing, missing for days.
The future now. Go ahead.
When my cousin went missing for days, and then the police, you ring the police, they just say she's a drug addict. It's like she's a 13 or 14-year-old child who they've got addicted to heroin. In the end, she climbed out the window to get back to them for her fix of drugs, and then she's gone, and then they take them. And this is happening to parents in every town and city across the whole.
What ended up happening to her?
She wears a full niqab now. Her family haven't seen her, so who knows?
Oh, she's under their full control.
Yeah, she had 6 babies. Who knows?
So they literally kidnapped your family?
No, they take them. They're gone. Do you know what they do? So with this other girl that I spoke about, and I saw her mum on New Year's Eve, and she just broke down crying. I was at a Christmas event. She just burst out crying. And she said his parents, so that when they get the girl, because it's rewarded as well.
And once they're done, they make them have a bunch of babies, and they make them work, and the men don't work, and the women don't work.
It's a celebration. They celebrate it.
Women are slaves, and so the CIA feminist movement loves it. My
local imam's got 14 children with 3 wives. All in houses we're paying for, we pay for all the kids. And to them, do you know, being reliant on the state, having a benefit system that pays them, that's a totally halal life. It's great. So all these Muslims being brought in, you want to succeed. You want to use capitalism. You want to rise up. You want to benefit. You want to do better. They're quite happy. It's a really halal life. We'll go mosque 5 times a day. You pay us. And they're laughing at us because we are paying them. We're paying for everything. We're paying for all the benefits, just like you've seen.
Well, they call that the tax. They say we already have the Brits paying our tax.
Yeah, it's a special tax.
Oh, jizya, or what is it?
Jizya. You convert You convert, so there's 3 options from Islam. You convert, you pay the jizya, or you die. And that's the last things Muhammad said in his life. That's it. So you convert, you pay the jizya, or you die. So you have 3 options. You convert. The jizya is a special tax that non-Muslims pay to Muslims. Under the times of Muhammad, Muslims had to pay, the non-Muslims had to pay a special tax. If they pay that tax, which subjugates them as second-class citizens within the Muslim community, then they can live. But they have to keep paying for their safety. It's essentially what Barack Obama done with Iran. He sent them billions of pounds. Yeah, we'll give you money. You just stay over there and stop. Do you know what I mean? It's a weakness. It's a cowardice.
Like the Barbary War.
Like the Barbary War. It's the same. It's the same. And to most people who don't understand Islam, you have to understand it. You have to understand Muhammad. You have to understand who he was. Jesus said, turn the other cheek. Muhammad cut their heads off. He beheaded 600 people in one day. That's not my opinion.
And what's crazy is they're so arrogant. You can walk up to any Muslim, they'll admit it to you. Here, say, yeah, we're getting your daughters. Yeah, we're taking over. Screw you. He's just some lazy retard on welfare.
No, but but they are. He's speaking the truth. That's what they're doing. They're taking over. You think London's 33% English now. You think Germany. You think Berlin. Now, America's at a crossroads. You have an option. You have a total option here. You've got brave congressmen speaking out. I've seen some of them. I've spoke to some of them. I've seen some of their primaries last night. I saw the 95% vote from Texans against Sharia. That vote against Sharia, it's like you put out one fire and another 500 start. You try and stop one mosque, another 500 planning applications go in. So it needs to come from the top, from your government, need to address this issue of Sharia, of Islam, of Islamic immigration. You need to end Islamic immigration. As simple as that. Immigration is supposed to benefit the United States of America. It's not going to benefit you.
So let me ask you this when we come back. Can Europe and the UK be saved?
Yes, and it will.
What do you want to hear when we come back? You're going to have the floor. You're going to host. I want you to cover it all.
I want to cover the rape because it's the biggest and darkest stain on British history.
They're saying it's, you said years ago, it's 250,000 at least.
That's more. It's much more. And I'll go into the numbers on that. Say for example, I've done a 5-part series called The Rape of Britain, where I looked at a certain town called Telford, and I went into Telford and I spent 12 to 18 months in this small town. And the reason I chose Telford is because Telford has a 1.7.
Talk about it when we come back, because I don't know what it said now, but it had like 1 million views. They put you in prison for it. Was it like 100 million views now?
It went to 167 million views, that documentary.
Last time
Thanks to Elon Musk.
Yeah. And how long did you have to sit in prison last time for this?
I spent 7 months on surgery.
7 months in prison to show you what they do.
I got out in May.
Incredible. We'll be right back with Tommy Robinson. Ladies and gentlemen, methylene blue is incredible, and we have the very best you're going to find anywhere at thealexshowstore.com. What it's done to my clarity, my mind, my focus has just been wild. My workouts have been so much better. We have the best ultramethylene blue at thealexshowstore.com. Here's what some of the guests on the show experienced when they took it, and Joe Rogan and others talking about my transformation that methylene blue has been a big part of.
How is Alex doing these?
He's great. He lost a lot of weight, man.
I saw he's getting like... Yeah, he's ready for the next
My friend
big...
Sean Johnson's training him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets up every morning. He works out for fucking hours. I think he's lost 70 pounds at this point. He looks fantastic, man.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic. He looks like he's 20 years younger.
I saw Alex Jones, and he looks really good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's losing all weight. Taking back my health.
You're so good.
That's the only impression I could do.
Yeah, Alex looks good, man.
Him and
He
Joey
lost some weight. He looks good.
Dude, he looks great.
Yeah.
He works out every day. It's like no Ozempic, no bullshit, no shortcuts.
He's definitely one of my bucket list people to meet at some point.
Oh, I can introduce you to Alex.
Yeah.
We can make that happen for sure.
It's so noticeable. I was like, wow, he looks handsome.
I text Alex all the time. I know him. He's just losing weight. But if you go online, there's a lot of people that believe that this is like a different person. He looks great. That's all it is. He looks great.
Here's your daily motivation. Alex Jones is 51 years old. He's been through more shit than you will ever go through. The deep state has come for his life. They have come for his business. They fined him billions of dollars for free speech. Alex Jones has had his rights stripped away. They've tried to take this man's life for speaking truth. Alex Jones went from looking like this to looking now like this. Alex Jones is getting ripped. Alex Jones is getting yoked. It's showing all of us that no matter our age, no matter what's thrown at us in life, no matter how many troubles or trials that we have, what really matters is who you are on the rock-ribbed inside. Do you have gunpowder in your gut? Do you have some grit in your teeth? Can you be a man in the face of all of it? your promised struggles in this life, can you punch back? Alex Jones is a motivation and a vibe today.
I started having seizures like a few years ago, and everybody in my family knows I'm a neuroscientist.
What did you do to fix it?
Methylene blue.
I'd take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson was on here talking about it.
This stuff works, man.
I take it every day as well. And
Yeah, RFK Jr. told me about it.
man, it's fantastic.
What is Bobby Kennedy Jr. dropping into that glass of water?
Plenty of folks are wondering what was in that little bottle he uncorked during a flight.
Methylene blue.
Show her Kennedy taking it. Kennedy literally gobbles it.
He must be doing something right. That ripped bod is 73 years old.
You shouldn't have to tell a doctor about methylene blue. I think everybody should know about it. It's changed my life.
It kind of gives you like a boost of energy. It's not like an energy drink where you get the jitters or like you're just ready for the day and you're never going to sleep. It's more so like it clears the brain fog where you're actually, you know, able to focus more clearly.
You feel instant energy, but without the jitteriness of caffeine and focus. What I felt was focus, mental focus.
For me, it's like a fog lifted, but it was like a veil lifted off, you know? Incredible.
It's really interesting. I almost like feel smarter. With methylene blue, I do notice that it does seem to give me more mental energy.
I knew what that did for me. I knew that it got me up and walking again, and I was having seizures without it. And let me tell you something, what a blessing.
It is a miracle, and it's been proven for 100 years. It's one of the most well-proven drugs out there. My kids take it, my wife takes it.
Everybody takes it.
What a blessing. I don't care what anybody says. I know what it's like with it, and I know what it's like without it.
Ribeye, exactly. Tommy Robinson's at church tonight, I think with Ken Paxton or his family. But tomorrow I'm taking him out to a steakhouse. We won't say where. Nice ribeye. But we got you some great Texas barbecue coming. What a hero. Just amazing. An example for us all. Now, I didn't put you up to this. Well, I'll put you up to do this, to talk about it. But you told me, you said, man, because I was here today working and you were already on the show. And they said, yeah, Tommy was really tired. We gave him some methylene blue. That's what you told him. Hey, you got any caffeine or something? They gave you that. You were on your own. You said, wow, this methylene blue is insane. I said, well, you can take some more here on air. And in fact, I haven't taken it in a couple of days. I need to take some. I take it about every 3 days, or it's too strong for me. Had you ever taken methylene blue before?
I hadn't, no. I asked for a double espresso. I got some tablets, some powder, not that powder, and some methylene blue.
Well, you're definitely bouncing off the wall. So what did you feel for the methylene blue?
That woke me up. It certainly woke me up. I don't even like double espresso, but yesterday I left at 4:30 in the morning on a flight from Northern Florida, ended up in Dallas, and I got to bed last night at 1:30. And then we left for here at 5:30. I was at 5 o'clock, we were up. So I've just been running.
No, I saw your schedule. It's crazy.
I've been running like that each day. I want to make the most of my time here. I want to make the most of waking up America or having an opportunity to talk to America, to understand what's happening here.
Well, this is a stimulant that's not a stimulant. It skips the oxidation process in the cells. RFK Jr. is totally into it. I wish I'd have taken it. People told me to, but we've got the best, and it is how we fund the operation, thealexshowstore.com. For all you on the fence, every guest I've given it to has had incredible energy. Now, I didn't ask you what it did. You said you felt energy. The first time I took it in 30 minutes, I felt like electricity tingling. Did you feel that?
Yeah, it woke me up. I was like coming in here, and I was like, oh, man. I was exhausted. So I don't feel exhausted.
Well, here's the Tommy Robinson. How much did you take?
I don't know. I overdo everything I ever do, so I just put loads of it in.
Well, that's just one dropper. Let's do it.
Well, that's just one drop. I've done about 10 on the last one.
Mm.
Yeah.
You're going to be pissing blue for a week. If you'd have told me I'd be drinking methylene blue with Tommy Robinson a month ago, I wouldn't have believed it. Hey, briefly, and then I'm going to give you the floor here, to the modern stuff, the current stuff, how we fight it, what's going on. And we'll get into Iran, all of it. Well, we'll get into Iran in a moment, but just in general, go wherever you want to the point of how you woke up, what you did, what you went through, because that's so important to show how tyrannical the UK is. And you were really patient zero. Now they've taken it to 30-something thousand people a year being arrested for mild speech. Starmer out in the open being a total tyrant. They're talking about arresting Elon Musk. The EU is as well. You really champion Elon Musk, and I have too. I mean, he's been the game changer.
He's been the game changer. I wouldn't be sat here if it wasn't for Elon Musk. There wouldn't be a revival. There's a Christian revival happening in Great Britain. There's a cultural revolution happening in Great Britain. None of these things would be happening without Elon Musk purchasing X. Now, lots of people thought he was mad when he spent 44 billion on X. And it is now a platform. It's the top news site in the world. We can bypass their misinformation, bypass their lies. People can come straight to the source rather than them telling you what I say. You can listen to what I say. Now, you weren't able to do that for at least 5 years. Same with Alex. We were totally deplatformed.
And how angry is Starmer? He says it when Musk routinely posts you. So you get 10 million views, 200 million views, 160 million views. I mean, that has got to drive them crazy.
Well, they're losing. They've lost control. When Donald Trump was elected, they realised that they'd lost control. They realised that his election come off the back of social media. They then took back control. Before Donald Trump, I'd say it was Modi. There was a populist revolution that was happening, and it would have continued to happen, but then they took back control. They took back control by influencing big tech. We've still now. I'm still banned on Facebook. I had a 1.2 million following in 2017. I had the most engaged Facebook page in Britain. I had more. You put my followers. I had more than all of the political parties put together. Yeah. So then they took back control. They made me a figure of hate. I've never been tried or contested or had a court case on hate or racism or extremism, anything like that. I just told the truth.
Yeah. 15 years ago, you were a Nazi, which you've always been pro-Israel.
Yeah, always. Yeah. I've always, from the start, been not just pro-Israel, but I'm from Luton Town. As I said, most of my mates growing up are not white. I've been able to see the difference. I can understand why someone in a totally white neighbourhood or someone in another country can look at all the problems and just and put it on non-whites or problems like that when they see so much crime and they see all these things.
But we know in Europe everywhere, 80% of it's the Muslims.
It's Muslim. If there wasn't Islamic immigration, and I get condemned for saying this, if we didn't have Islamic immigration, I don't think there'd be any debate about immigration. I don't think there would.
Well, that's right. The white supremacists actually hate you because you report that fact.
Yeah, they despise me for it. And they despise me for it. And I say, look, our Unite the Kingdom movement, which we set up. So in 2024, I'll brief it. So I saw all the problems growing up, seen all the jihad. Luton was named by the CIA as the epicenter for terrorist activity. I know lads that went to fight for ISIS. Some of my mates converted to Islam. They're now in jail for terrorism. I've seen it all. I've seen the rapes. I've seen the girls go missing. I've seen the family problems. I've seen it all.
They hijabbed your cousin?
I know. Yeah, that's it. They're gone. Family members gone. Loved ones gone. Friends gone. Girls you grew up with gone. Gone, taken, disappeared. Yeah. But in 2009, I set up an organisation called the English Defence League. Now, it was never going to be doctors or nurses that stood up to militant Islam or these gangs in our country. It was going to be young, willing men that are not going to submit. We're not going to be beaten into submission. So the English Defence League formed and young men from across the country joined it. And we hit towns and cities to highlight the issues that were being hidden, successfully hidden for decades.
And the government came down on you with both feet.
I expected the threats. I expected the terrorism. I expected it all. So there's 6 Muslims in jail now. They got caught with guns and bombs on the way to kill us. I've had 13 official government warnings that my life's in danger. 2 weeks ago, ISIS have put me in this month's magazine to be killed. Al-Shabaab named me in 2011 to be killed. So I expected all of that because I knew very early on growing up in Luton, you can't talk about this issue. They're going to kill you. They're going to want to kill you. Yeah, I knew that. What I didn't expect was the full weight of the British state. I had no idea. I thought I lived in a country, the Magna Carta, I've got it tattooed up here. I thought I lived in a country that valued free speech, and I thought I had those freedoms until I started exercising them. And then I realised I live in a very different country. Now a totalitarian state has weapons and it has tentacles, and the media, the judiciary are all weapons of that state, and I come under full attack from all of them. Do you know what, Alex? This is the crazy thing. Since 2009, when I set up and I started highlighting these issues, my first raid from the police was within 3 weeks. So at that time, I was 25 years old. I had 2 successful companies, 7 properties. I was a successful young man, making money, family, everything. And I realised that we can't hide from these problems. We can't run from these problems. Most people think, and we've created a generation of cowards and selfish people who think it's about them. So most people think, well, I can move there. It's not going to affect me. I've got a few quid. I'll move out there and the problems are confined to that town. It doesn't matter anymore.
But we stand on the shoulders of men before that stood up for our nations, and it's you're building that new foundation.
Well, it's in our DNA to fight. It's in our DNA. That's what we have to remember who we are. I keep saying to Britain, remember who you are. Remember where we come from. Remember what created this nation.
The Romans couldn't conquer.
Remember the sacrifice. England, remember who, and we've forgot who we are, and we've become weak. And if we reinstall that pride, and we lost our pride, there's been a combined attack on males, on family, on church. America, do not lose faith in your church, because that's what we did. We went away from it. And even if you
they're all turning to mosque.
not just turning the mosque, but it allows a vacuum, and that vacuum was filled by what? It's filled by Islam, it's filled by Marxism, communism, LGBTQ+. If you've got a population who don't know who they are, and from the breakdown through the education system, through the indoctrination, to create a population who are ashamed of who they are, who don't have fathers, who don't have a community, who don't have a church, who don't have a value system, then you can manipulate them. And you.
By the way, I know you saw Oxford and Cambridge, and they're saying the Anglo-Saxons never existed. There are no Scots, Irish, or Brits, literally, and then they put non-whites in as the Vikings. I mean, this is insane. They're literally erasing your history.
This is a long process, and then if they can do that, if you have a population who don't know who they are, they're not going to fight. They're not going to fight.
They have no identity.
They have no identity. And they've tried. The European Union and the
Well, the thing is, the Romans took over everything until a little north of London. They had to build Hadrian's Wall because they said, just give it up. They couldn't take it. And now you take people that never give up to, like, pussify. How did that happen?
Feminisation of men, weakening, get everyone financed up to here, reliant on their jobs, reliant on their work. If they miss one payment, they lose everything. They've got everyone where they want them. And then cancel culture. You can't talk about this. There is no free speech. Arrest, fear, worry, concern. All of these things played a part. But it's pretty embarrassing because we hear about a nation of lions and they managed to paralyse that nation. It's the darkest stain on British history is this rape scandal where we, as a nation, and a nation with pride would never have allowed this to happen. Men with pride would never have allowed this to happen. But we lost our pride, we lost our identity, we lost it all. We lost our culture is eroding, yeah? So I formed an organisation in 2009. We hit the streets. Yeah, we were boisterous. Of course we were boisterous. No one was going to listen to us. So we hit the streets, we were loud, we were vocal. We brought issues to the forefront of the world's media. We were marching through streets, Muslim pedos off our streets. Our daughters are not halal meat. We made sure they couldn't ignore these issues. They'd ignored them for 30 years. If you draw a graph, and I take massive satisfaction in this, and if you draw a graph and show the arrest rates for Muslim paedophile gangs targeting young children, there's a straight line. English Defence League forms in 2009, 2010, 11, the line literally goes straight up. That's when the arrest started. It's when they had to address the issue because 10,000 young English men were on the streets demanding they address that issue. If not, we would be sitting here now. Those rapes would still be going on. They are still going on, but no one would know about these rapes.
Well, let's talk about the magnitude. You said it's more than 250,000. Starmer literally was the head magistrate covering it up. It's on record. He is really scared right now. What's the real number?
So the magnitude is, I focus. You've heard of Rotherham, right? You've heard of Rotherham. The reason you've heard
on the floor.
I believe these towns are scapegoat towns. So I went to Telford and I spent 12 to 18 months in a small town called Telford. Telford has a 1.7% Muslim population. There's none there. Yeah, but I spent 12 to 18 months. I sat down with lots of girls, dozens of girls, and I sat down with them for 3 hours, 4 hours, sometimes 3 times, sometimes 4 times. My team dissected their interviews. We built a database. We put it all out. Now, we got 264 names from those survivors. We heard the crimes. We heard what they'd done. Some of the girls they were raping. Some of the girls they murdered their friends. Some of the girls they were torturing. Some girls, so you understand, a little 11-year-old girl had a hot iron rod with the letter M heated up. And it was scalded onto her bum because she was the property of Muhammad. Other girls had their tongues nailed to tables. They used to take these young children out into the woods in the middle of the night. They'd pour petrol over them and then set a lighter up saying they'll burn them and burn their whole family if they ever speak. So these girls were tortured. There were queues of men sometimes queuing up to rape these children. Some of the cases, 11 cousins were involved in the rape of a child. Fathers and sons were raping kids together. Brothers and brother-in-laws. This is a whole new imported phenomenon of rape that, quite frankly, the Western nations have never seen. Yes, we've got a problem with paedophiles. Yes, we've got a problem with deranged individuals, but they don't share them with their brothers, sisters, cousins, brothers and families and cousins. This was so accepted within the Islamic community. It was so mainstream. So I went to this town. I focused on this town. I spent 12 to 18 months there. You can watch this documentary series. It's the best work that's been done on this issue, which is why they hate me, because I'm pretty good at my job. trfilms.co.uk. We investigate. We do a police-style investigation. We track the men. I knew everything about every one of those gang members. I knew where they worked. I knew where they lived. I knew how they were related. I knew it all by the end of this investigation. And then we go after them. So once we got the stories, we go and find them. Because in this police investigation, 1,000 victims, not my investigation, the police's in this town, they identified 1,000 victims. 5 victims are dead. Some of them burned alive, the children. Yeah, they've killed 5. They've murdered 5 in that town alone. Now, the police identified 200 men involved in these rapes. 200. They only prosecuted 11. So when you see the headlines of rape gang, rape gang, rape gang, they're just doing a little few of them, yeah, to make the country feel like they're dealing with it. They can't deal with it. There's not enough prison cells to deal with it. Yeah? But out of them, they prosecuted 11. So 200 men were identified. Now, you take the Muslim population in this town, you get rid of the children and get rid of the women. That's 1,000 men. So out of 1,000 Muslim men, the police identified 20% that were involved in the rapes. We identified 260, 26%. Just so the police, that's just from sitting down with 18 girls. Yeah, that's what we identify. Now, in our documentary series, when the girls are named, when the rapists are named by 3 or more victims that did not know each other, that's when they star in my films. Yeah, so it's not like one girl's just come and made something up to us. We've done a proper investigation from children that did not know each other, that lived in different areas of the town, that make exactly the same allegations about trafficking, abuse, and rape and torture. Yeah, and then we go and find the men. Many of them running successful businesses, companies. In fact, the man whose job it was in the mosque to preach against the grooming gangs was one of the main groomers. We have pictures from the police. The police go and take these diversity photos, the same as what they're doing now in Texas. They go and have these photos taken for diversity, working together with the Islamic community, and they're all outside the mosque. You won't find photos outside the Sikh temple or the Hindu temple. It's always the mosque. They're outside the mosque. The police officer whose job it is to stop grooming, stood next to the main groomer in the town. It's insane, yeah? But when you take those figures and you look, as I said, from a 1.7% Muslim population, 20 to 30% of the Muslim men in that town were raping. That's like the numbers. And then we have the figures for Telford, and we have the figures for another small town called Rotherham. So when you talk about 250,000, just in Telford, where there's no Muslims, there's 1,000 victims. Now let's look at Rotherham. Rotherham has a 3.7% Muslim population. So again, there's none there. When I say there's none there, my town's got 50%. Yeah? Other towns, Oldham, 33%.
Yeah, the government's doing studies on the towns that's light end, so...
They've done studies. We've got the figures on the towns that's light end. You're not allowed to ask why they're doing it. You're not allowed to look at religion or race. They try and muddy the water all the time on this.
So what's the real number, do you know?
I'd say, no. I'd say probably up a million rapes over those 20 years. When you look at the figures. Again, because in Rotherham, 1,400 children.
I'll tell you what I see like in Michigan, in Dearborn, when they march to the city council, you'll see these Muslim men with 2 or 3 blonde-haired, blue-eyed, brainwashed-looking women, look like they're 20 years old or 18. They're just there, and you just see their blue eyes in the slits as they're looking out, and these are literally captured women. You can see it.
They're taking them. No, but they're taking them everywhere. They're taking them everywhere. And are we supposed to just accept that? Are we supposed to accept that and tolerate that? And in America, this is the warning to America. Joe Biden opened your borders. They say 10 million. Maybe it was 20 million. Yeah, who knows? But when Angela Merkel opened up Germany's borders, from 2017 to 2022, rapes went up 45%. I always bring these statistics up because people really need to look at it. Rapes went up 45% in those years. 11% of the rapes last year were from foreign nationals of just Syrian descent. 54, 56, I can't remember, 8 or 58%. It's upwards of 54% of the rapes in Germany were committed by Muslim migrants. They only make up 10% of the country. In the UK, 90% of the convictions, Muslim men. 90%. 30% of those convictions called Mohammed. In Sweden, 63% of the convictions, Muslim men. In Paris, 77% of the rapes, Muslim men. So you can go through any of these countries.
So let me ask you this, though. You said all this first. It's all vindicated. Now it's finally hit mainstream news. You got to feel vindicated, but it's not about being vindicated. It's about the victory. Now this is becoming a front and center issue. Then Starmer, I know, the inquiry comes out to show the numbers. He gets caught erasing the rape database.
Keir Starmer was in charge of the Crown Prosecution Service at the time that many of these rapes were happening. They knew it was happening. They decided not to charge. Keir Starmer led this. So the problem you've got, when I started in 2009, within 3 weeks I got my first police raid. In the first 6 months, I had 3 raids. I was put under counter-terrorism measures to close my bank accounts and my assets. They destroyed my companies, my businesses, everything. Do you know, since that first 3 weeks, I have not had one period from then until now. I faced 10 years on October 26th this year. I faced 10 years in prison for my next trial. Yeah, I've just got off of 2 trials, thanks to Elon Musk, a counter-terrorism trial where the judge ruled that they were persecuting me, targeting me, and it was all unlawful. The case before that, just 9 months before that, I got off of another charge where they found again I was unlawfully targeted, unlawfully given conditions not to enter my capital city for 6 months. All of it unlawful. Thank God for Elon Musk supporting my campaign. I have a chance now on October 26th to win that case rather than do 10 years. But since 2000...
we should have started the show with that. In fact, put this up front. You're facing 10 years in prison right now for what?
Questioning journalists from the Daily Mail. You have to understand the Daily Mail and these newspapers, they're weapons of the state. You can't question them. You can't go after them. You can't ask them the questions that they're asking you, which is all I try to do. They put a camera on me, I turn the camera around. I'm coming to ask you some questions. No, you're not. They're in fear for their life. They're in fear for
We
their
have
safety.
people that pray outside abortion clinics 100 yards away. They get 2 years in jail.
They get prosecuted, yeah.
People don't realize how bad the UK is. I mean, it's bad.
It's bad, but...
What is Starmer trying to do?
Well, 2009, when I started talking about this, since then until now, I've not had one single period in that 15, 16 years, whatever it is, I've not had one single period where I haven't been facing prison. So lawfare, which is what Alex has been hit with, it's what Donald Trump was hit with. It's the reason I played that documentary last year. So I had a court order not to show a documentary. I had a grenade showing how they operate. You see everything we know about lawfare. It's an unholy alliance of judiciary, of politicians.
But look at that headline. Oh, you talked to reporters 10 years in jail. What is this?
Yep,
but a girl, a 9-year-old escapes, goes to the police. They arrest her for being raped. I mean, just look how upside down that is. How do the letters of the Guardian, how do they get enough mercenaries to do this?
Well, they're all weapons of the state. They're all working for the state. Again, it's not, Britain is not a free democracy. It's not. The European Union are working against the interests of the people. They're flooding the nation with the United Nations. It's all planned. Your borders and our borders and Germany's borders and every country's borders, they weren't open by mistake. They're open. Do you know Minnesota? Just look at Minnesota. Ask yourself this question. Somalians come from the hottest place in the world, Somalia. They come into the United States. Do you think they chose Minnesota? Do you think they chose to move to the coldest place in the United States? Do you think that was a choice made by Somalians? Or do you think they were put there? Do you think they were put there in the full knowledge of how quick that community grows? So when you look at the Muslim communities...
It's a voting block.
They're bringing in voting blocks to make sure, you know, your swing states. Just look at the figures. The figures of illegal immigration were upwards at almost 700% in some of those swing states. Now, if you hadn't elected Donald Trump, you never would have won an election again.
Well, that's right. Trump isn't perfect, and I get mad at him, but it's night and day. So we got to back the good he does, oppose the bad he does, but overall it's night and day.
Yeah, I can't claim to be an expert on American politics. I read what I can, I look at what I can, I've followed it. But I can be an expert on Islam and what it's going to do to your country. And
it's the exact same playbook. It's
identical. They're doing
what you've been hit with is what we're being hit with now.
The lawfare they hit with me is the lawfare they hit with you. It's the lawfare hit with Trump. The difference is I had a film. So when I had the possession of this documentary, which proved everything was a lie in a story they told, I can't go into details here because I go straight back to jail. I'm on a lie. I just come out after doing 18 months. I've got an 18-month prison sentence for a film. Now, when Alex told me not to go home, lots of people told me not to go home. I made a decision to put the British judiciary on trial. I had a vision that if I know what this film shows. If you watch this film, you know I told the truth and you know they lied. Now,
and it's them admitting you were right, admitting they were covering it up. So you went to jail for that.
If you know they lied, you then can question the results of the judiciary and the politicization of the judiciary, not just against me. Do this, okay? Americans, do this. Pick any fighter in Europe. Morten Messerschmitt is the lead name in Denmark who's opposed to European Union and mass immigration. Google his name, look at the lawfare he's faced. Court case after court case after court case.
A lot of them get shot and killed, actually, or stabbed.
Ken Paxton, look at the lawfare he faced for standing up. Look at anyone that stood up and look at the lawfare. So look at Salvini. Look at Salvini, who's Deputy Prime Minister now of Italy. He faced 6 years of relentless lawfare for standing up. They didn't get anywhere, proven wrong, but the process is the punishment. The stress, I don't know if Alex talks about the stress, what he's gone through. I know what goes on behind closed doors. I know the dark places. I know the bankruptcy. I know the effect on the family. I know the effect on the children. I know what it is. So even if you come out of it, my last 2 cases, I come out, one cost £53,000. I was cleared. I don't get the £53,000 back. I don't get my time or life back. In fact, all my energy is put into fighting a court case of which I'm innocent.
Well, then they sued and bankrupted my parents.
That's what they do. Yeah, and it hangs over your head. So they have this cloud over your head. I've had it since 2009. You tried to live with it, you tried to fight it, but here I am, come 2021. I'm taken to court. They say I lied in a story. I have all the evidence of covert recordings proving that people were paid not to tell the truth. I find out who paid them. They spent £274,000. I get all the evidence. I have this big conspiracy of the unholy alliance, how they operate, and I realise that this film is far bigger than Tommy Robinson. This film proves everything.
What's crazy is you told me a few years ago before you came back and went to jail, it was going to happen. It happened. Starmer's out. It's admitted he did it. He was the head. I mean, so what happens next?
This was about the judiciary and the lying, and I made a decision to go back because I thought I'm going to put them on trial for the world, and it was a risk I took because the world might not have seen the film. But I went back, and even the judge said when I went in before him, delete the film, and I will drastically reduce your sentence. I said, you don't get it, do you? Like you sent me,
and then it had like 20 million views. Now it's 160.
It was only on 400,000 when they come to me. And
I was just guessing a number.
And it went up to 167 million views. So although
by the way, that's just your post. It's everywhere else.
Yeah, that's my.
Any idea how many people see it now?
I don't know. Well,
500 million.
Well, 8 weeks before I was due to come out of prison, they made my solicitor notify my solicitor. The minute I walk out.
Now we know they were threatening Musk the whole time.
Yeah.
When Starmer went to the EU to have them do multi-billion-dollar fines, and then one of the main things was you. So Elon's paying billions to keep your movie up.
Elon's
a freaking hero, man. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're kissing his ass." I mean, he's a game changer, folks. He brought me back. What am I supposed to do? Bite the hand that saves us?
No, it's free speech. And people say, "Why is Elon supporting you?" I said, "Elon's supporting free speech." Each one of my court cases say I sent the paperwork to a lawyer to look at, and if it was a violation of free speech, he supported it. So he's supporting free speech. He's a free speech.
You're gonna have to go. Democrats filed saying they own my name. They said the 13th Amendment doesn't apply to Alex Jones. We own his name. Musk wouldn't block that in court.
Again, I don't think he'll be remembered for putting things on Mars. I think he's going to remember for saving free speech. So,
well, I mean, but you know, it all started during COVID. They literally grabbed his son, brainwashed him, castrated him, basically, chemically. Like, I'm not glad that happened, but boy, like, that shows how arrogant they are. Like, these people are crazy.
That's happening to all of these ideologies and all of these promotions, which are about destabilizing the nation, creating weak men. That's organized. And I'd say, so people understand, they have had a successful revolution. The left have had it. They've infiltrated schools, infiltrated their education. They've got into the minds of the youth. They've polluted the minds of the youth. They've attacked the church. They've destabilized the nations. They've done what they wanted to do. Now what we're seeing is the counter-revolution. That's what we're witnessing right now. You witnessed it.
Stay there. Let's talk the counter-revolution with the true 1776 2.0 from the United Kingdom. Tommy Robinson. That's right. 1776 is worldwide. We'll be right back with hour number 3 with Tommy Robinson. Stay with us. Ladies and gentlemen, methylene blue is incredible. And we have the very best you're going to find anywhere at thealexshowstore.com. What it's done to my clarity, my mind, my focus has just been wild. My workouts have been so much better. We have the best ultramethylene blue at thealexshowstore.com. Here's what some of the guests on the show experienced when they took it, and Joe Rogan and others talking about my transformation that methylene blue has been a big part of.
How is Alex doing these?
He's great. He lost a lot of weight.
I saw he's getting like, yeah, he's ready for the next.
My friend
big...
Sean Johnson's training him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets up every morning. He works out for fucking hours. He's lost, I think he's lost 70 pounds at this point. He looks fantastic, man.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic. He looks like he's 20 years younger.
I saw Alex Jones, and he looks really good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's losing all weight. Taking back my health.
You're so good.
That's the only impression I could do.
Hey, Alex looks good, man.
Him and Joey
lost some weight. He looks good.
Dude, he looks great.
Yeah.
He works out every day. It's like no Ozempic, no bullshit, no shortcuts.
He's definitely one of my bucket list people to meet at some point.
Oh, I can introduce you to Alex.
Yeah.
We can make that happen for sure.
Come on.
It's so noticeable. I was like, wow, he looks handsome.
I text Alex all the time. I know him. He's just losing weight. But if you go online, there's a lot of people that believe that this is like a different person. He looks great. That's all it is. He looks great.
Here's your daily motivation. Alex Jones is 51 years old. He's been through more shit than you will ever go through. The deep state has come for his life. They have come for his business. They fined him billions of dollars for free speech. Alex Jones has had his rights stripped away. They've tried to take this man's life for speaking truth. Alex Jones went from looking like this to looking now like this. Alex Jones is getting ripped. Alex Jones is getting yoked. It's showing all of us that no matter our age, no matter what's thrown at us in life, no matter how many troubles or trials that we have, what really matters is who you are on the rock-ribbed inside. Do you have gunpowder in your gut? Do you have some grit in your teeth? Can you be a man in the face of all of it? Your promised struggles in this life, can you punch back? Alex Jones is a motivation and a vibe today.
I started having seizures like a few years ago, and everybody in my family knows I'm a neuroscientist.
What did you do to fix it?
Methylene blue.
I'd take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson was on here talking about it.
This stuff works, man.
I take it every day as well. And
yeah, RFK Jr. told me about it.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic.
What is Bobby Kennedy Jr. dropping into that glass of water?
Plenty of folks are wondering what was in that little bottle he uncorked during a flight.
Methylene blue.
Show her Kennedy taking it. Kennedy literally gobbles it.
He must be doing something right. That ripped bod is 73 years old.
You shouldn't have to tell a doctor about methylene blue. I think everybody should know about it. It's changed my life.
It kind of gives you like a boost of energy. It's not like an energy drink where you get the jitters or like you're just ready for the day and you're never going to sleep. It's more so like it clears the brain fog where you're actually, you know, able to focus more clearly.
You feel instant energy, but without the jitteriness of caffeine and focus. What I felt was focus, mental focus.
For me, it's like a fog lifted, but it was like a veil lifted off, you know? Incredible.
It's really interesting. I almost like feel smarter. With methylene blue, I do notice that it does seem to give me more mental energy.
I knew what that did for me. I knew that it got me up and walking again, and I was having seizures without it. And let me tell you something, what a blessing.
It is a miracle, and it's been proven for 100 years. It's one of the most well-proven drugs out there. My kids take it, my wife takes it.
Everybody takes it.
What a blessing. I don't care what anybody says. I know what it's like with it, and I know what it's like without it.
Well, here's the deal. We had to preserve our Western culture, which is obviously very powerful, very beautiful. Doesn't mean we hate other people, but there are a lot of tyrants that are threatened by it because liberty and freedom is in the way of tyranny. And we can talk about Muslims all day, but it's the globalists, the Black Rocks that are allied with it because, like you said, it's a poison that is going to bring us down.
It's bringing us down. It's brought us down. Like, I've had some ups and downs, highs and lows. I felt defeated at times. 2021, when I released this film, so I went to court and they bankrupted me, and I knew I told the truth, and I know I had all the evidence that I told the truth. But when I went to court, the judge gave me an order that said, if you ever show any of the information that you've showed in this courtroom, then you will go to jail for 2 years. So, and I lost. I failed myself as a journalist. I failed my movement because I was scared. I was scared because I just, as you said, I come out of prison the year before. I spent then months on solitary confinement, and I was in a bad place. I was wrecked. My mind was wrecked. My head was wrecked. Everything. I felt in a terrible place. Fast forward, they've given me this court order. I should have walked out of court and I should have played that film, and I didn't because I was scared of the consequence. Not just to me, but I've got a young family, and I saw the effect it had on my children, the worry, the fear.
They were going to come after us, but I actually advise you. I don't think you were wrong. I said, you're doing so much great work. You've already exposed the courts. The grooming's coming out. You don't have to show them lying behind the scenes in the court to prove you're right. I said, be strategic. But I think at the end you were right because they throw you back in prison and now you have 1 million people, not 100,000 at your rally. So your sacrifice was worth it. I think you were right in the end, but I was being more strategic.
Yeah.
Remember me telling you on the phone?
Yeah, it just set me up. I remember it just set me up. It set me up every day. It set me up. And in the end, I sat my kids down, I sat my family down and said, look, I've got to do it. I can't carry on. And I was in a low place.
What'd your wife and family say to that?
My kids have, well, I've explained lots of things to them. I remember the time before that on the case, and my son's here. And I said to my son, because they said if I plead guilty, I don't go to jail. And my family was saying, just plead guilty. Then you can come home. I said, I can't. And I said, I don't want to. And this is the reason why, because you see, if I don't plead guilty and they send me to jail, then 5 million people are going to watch this video. And if 5 million people, and I asked my son, because I've got 2 daughters, and I said, you see girls your sister's age, they're being kidnapped, they're being hurt, they're being tortured, they're being taken from their families. If I play this film and it saves one girl, just one, and if I do this and I go to jail and one girl gets saved, I sit in a room for a few months, whatever. It's not the end of the world. We're going to be apart. We'll talk. I'll be home. If it saves one girl, what should I do? And he said he was only what was he at the time? 11. He said, yeah, Dad, you should do the film. You should not plead guilty. So I said, but I think I felt bad because I felt like I was putting on my kids, but I wanted to feel the justification that they don't.
And thank God they got it. But I mean,
I didn't want them resenting me for the.
Well, the Islamists are starting to get on their heels in the UK, thanks to you and others. I mean, we're having some success though.
We're having some success, and I was abroad. I went abroad after that court case. I was sitting in Spain, and then I felt defeated. October 7th happened. Jihadis were taking over every Western nation, every university. And my phone pops on, and my X account was back. And I looked and I went, what? Because Elon Musk had bought X, I didn't get my account back straight away, so I thought, I'm not getting it back. And then it was turned on, and so was Katie Hopkins. And I messaged Katie Hopkins saying, Katie, our accounts are back. And then she's like, what? So then I've looked, and I couldn't log in. I remember it. I didn't know the password. So although the account was back on, I was like, shit, I just want to tweet. So then I decided to fly back to the UK. And the jihadists took over the capital city, and it was Armitage Day. And we were planning Armitage Day, which is our Remembrance Day, and the jihadists were planning on disrupting Armitage Day. So I made a video saying, English men, I hadn't done a demonstration for 5 years. I said, we need to descend on our capital
and
city.
Armistice is the end of World War I, right?
Yeah, this is where we have our...
How dare you celebrate the victory of World War I?
We have our Remembrance Day, and they were going to disrupt it for Palestine, like everything's for Palestine. So I made a video, and about 3,000 young men turned up, yeah, and everyone turned up. But when
now 1 million show up. This is the last year.
Yeah, so when I went from organising this, then they come for me for the film. I go to jail, but what we did is I sat down, which is what needs to happen here. You need to do it. But we were at an advanced stage where we realised our culture's disappearing. We're losing our nation. So then when I come back, I set up a meeting and I called together 15 influencers: Carl Benjamin, Lawrence Fox, Calvin Robinson, Maya Tusi, Katie Hopkins. All of them have been attacked. All of them have been silenced, but now all of them are back. All of them have got 500,000, 1 million. You've got views on TikTok. You've got views on YouTube. And we spent 2 days banging our heads. We spent months together.
Stay there, back in 60 seconds. And thank you, Elon Musk. Well, Tommy Robinson's been blocked getting in the U.S. for the last decade plus. He's here. And I realized last night when I knew he was coming here, I mean, we set up a week ago, I was like, I'm going to get to meet Tommy Robinson. Or met him in person. I actually got butterflies. And folks, I can be walking out to a crowd of 50,000 people, I don't get butterflies. But it's because of his accomplishments, and it's about celebrating the will, the solitary confinement, the torture, the being attacked. It would take hours, them letting the Muslims come and defecate at your door every day in solitary confinement, shoving their feces under the door at you, as you just watch them laughing, shoving their feces in, taking your cousin, raping her, disappearing her. I mean, and all of you vindicated, and then now, you 18 years ago or whatever, with 1,000 people on the street, and now 1 million, and everything they've done has failed. And then like the Deus Ex comes in. That's the Millennium Falcon coming in with Luke Skywalker when Darth Vader's about to kill him, before he blows up the Death Star, and he comes in. Han Solo saves the day. Musk literally comes in like Han Solo in Episode 4 of Star Wars and pulls your bacon out. Mine too. And it's a total game changer. And then, he's a shill. He's not whatever. It doesn't. It's real. He's in protecting the West. You cannot lie and say it's not happening.
Well, what we did is we set up a meeting, 15 people. American influencers could do with doing something like this, I believe. And we sat in a room for 2 days, and we spent months doing this. But the idea was, if you change the culture, you change the politics. If we want to set up a political party,
by the way, some stations just joined us. Recap where you are a few years ago.
Okay.
What happened? You come back to the country. They want to put you in.
I'm abroad. I'm broken. I'm down. I've got no platform. I've got no voice.
This is 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm deplatformed from absolutely every social media. Elon Musk steps in, gives me back X. Right, we're fighting. Now that the fight's on now, yeah? Because we can reach the public again. So I fly back to the UK, start setting up demonstrations, and then we come...
So Musk put you back in the game?
Yeah, Musk put our country back in the game.
Yeah.
We were gone. We were gone. We had no hope. And do you know, hope's contagious. Hope's something, when you see light at the end of the tunnel, which is what we currently see now coming out of the United States, there's a ripple that's come from America. When you voted for Donald Trump, you think it was a vote to save America. It was a vote to save Western civilization, yeah? It was far bigger than the United States of America. Without you having freedom, nowhere in the world...
People ask me, like, why do you care about Australia or Canada? Not most of my listeners, but some. I'm like, if Martians came to Earth today and blew up France or blew up Russia, I'd be concerned because we're next. Plus, I care about them. This is the same globalists, the same Islam. Like, you have been on the front line. We want to talk to you. You've witnessed it. You give us the intel.
Yeah, so for us, what we realise our culture is disappearing. So
you had this meeting, and now it's had a huge effect. Talk about it.
We had this meeting. We got 15 people together, and we said, right, listen, the war here is civil. So mainstream media are the cancer, and citizen journalists are the cure. Now, how can we work together? They've attacked all of us. Now, if we all come together under one umbrella, so we gave each person we had a board, and we said, write down what are your most 10 important points? What are your most... So it wasn't about me creating a cultural movement.
Brainstorm.
It was about us creating a cultural movement.
It's a literal continental congress.
Yeah, so we sat down together, and then we decided, we got it down to 5 points. Free speech, we have to fight for free speech. Our culture, we have to fight against the sexualization of children, LGBTQ+. Islam, we have to, so we come to an agreement where we had these 5 points, and we said, right, do we all agree that... Because we don't want to know what we disagree on. You might support Palestine, you might support Israel, you might support this, you might support that. Who cares? Our culture's under risk. These are the points we need to fight for. Now, if we agree to work under this umbrella and we create a video about culture against a politician, about free speech, against a newspaper, then we can combat what they're doing. With a click of a button, we will have a bigger reach than the BBC worldwide if we work together. So we worked together and we decided our culture's under attack, our identity's under attack. So we organised our first event on the 30th of June 2024. 2024. And we made it a celebration. And we called our organisation Unite the Kingdom because we want to unite this country. We want to unite Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, England, even the Republic of Ireland, which we're managing. We now want to move on from Unite the Kingdom to Unite the West. But we started with Unite the Kingdom. We brought these influencers together, we brought these commentators together, and we launched. And we all promoted this event. And the event was promoted. And remember, I've held 60 national organisations.
And it is time for the entire West to unite, and it's time for the Irish and the Scots and the English to come together under the main threat and one
Europeans, the entire West, because this is an attack against Western civilization. We need to work together. So that's what our plan was. That's what our goal was. We made our video. We made our promo. And remember, I've organised 60 national demonstrations. I've watched infiltration. You know what they done to you on January 6th? That's what they done to us. So I know how to stop that. So from the start of our first demonstration, I made videos clear. If you turn up and you cover your face, we will turn on you. We, as in our men, will stop you and we will remove your face coverings. That is to prevent infiltration. That prevents the government bodies coming in. Look up the Special Demonstration Squad. There are entire squads and organisations within the British police force and British government that infiltrate organisations. They infiltrate and they cause trouble and they cause violence, and then the media act as their weapon. They photograph the violence and then they spread a message to the British public and the world to take away the legitimacy of your frustration. It's what they done to you on January 6th. They didn't want you ever protesting again. They didn't want you ever protesting again. They wanted you too scared to protest, too scared to speak out, thinking everything's a trap. That's how they wanted you. So I learned that. So when we held this demonstration, I sat down with the police in negotiating for the first demonstration, and I sat down with the Met Police. And for a decade, patriots have been clashing with the police in the UK. Every time there's a demonstration, we clash, we fought. So I sat down with them and said, lads, we're not against you. We're pro-law, we're pro-police, yeah? But what's been allowed to happen? So what I'm going to tell you now, if I want to organise a protest on the same day as a Palestinian demonstration, you know I can. I know what you can and can't stop. I can pick a place and we can protest there in static demonstration. It's our right. And if I want to, thousands and thousands of young Englishmen are going to come. I don't want to do that, okay? But what I do want, as Englishmen and as British men, we want the same rights that Black Lives Matter were given. We want the same rights that the left are given. So we don't want you shutting roads. We don't want you blocking us. We don't want you policing us.
By the way, I did the same thing with like 5,000 that showed up for the Bilderberg protests like 15 years ago. Yeah. And the cops, I talked to them like that, they did it, it went well.
I said, if you don't do what we're asking you to do, I'm telling you we're going to hit their protests. We're going to come on the same day as Hamas. And if we do, it's going to cause mayhem. But we don't want to. But at the same time, we want our rights, we want our freedoms, we want them protected, we want the same respect that's given to every other community. What we want to do is we want a celebration. And we want a celebration that's safe for women, children and families to come.
By the way, tell us the name of the demonstration.
Unite the Kingdom.
Guys, pull up Unite the Kingdom and sometime around
UTK events, yeah.
Let's show this. It was massive. But you had an even bigger event last year, like 1 million they reported.
Yeah, so we went from the first one, and then the police stayed away, and we told the police, we'll police ourselves. Stay away. Yeah, we'll police ourselves. And it worked. And from that point, we've had a new relationship with the Metropolitan Police Force, which has now worked, where they respect us, they see us, we have families. So we went.
Which is an example, like the Muslims organize, we have to.
Yeah, we went from 30,000 and we showed the public that you can come out and celebrate British identity without riots. Then the next event was on the 27th of July. And do you know, I felt something happening. Someone had a Crisis King sign, and I saw the crowds erupt. And just before the next event, on the 27th of July, 2024, was the Paris Olympics. And they desecrated and they humiliated Jesus, and they humiliated
Last Supper.
The Last Supper. And after that, I wasn't that religious. But I was so outraged at what they'd done, I called a priest that I knew and said, come and speak at our event, because I'm outraged by what's happened. When I went to that event, 100,000 people were chanting Crisis King. At that moment, I felt something, yeah? I felt something that I felt in Poland in 2015.
The new crusade.
I felt something's happening, yeah? I could see it. I could feel it. Something is brewing here. We went from 100,000. They then, the day after 100,000 people, I travelled to the border. I get detained under the Terrorism Act. Do you know the officer who's in charge of counter-terrorism is the same officer who's in charge of the Rotherham rape scandal? He's been promoted from being in charge of that. So during the time when they let them rape all the kids in Rotherham, he's now in charge of counter-terrorism. I get detained under the Terrorism Act, I get prosecuted, and I get charged under the Terrorism Act. Elon Musk saved me. Elon Musk gave me lawyers. We defeated it. We showed that it was unlawful. We showed it was illegal. But we went from 100,000. Then we built up for the next one, which was September 13th. Now, when I walked out of jail after 7 months of solitary confinement, the first camera I went up to, I said, September 13th, they thought they'd stopped us. They thought they'd stopped this cultural revolution. They only temporarily halted it. We're coming in our thousands, and we're not coming angrily. We're not coming the way you want us to come. We're not coming to smash anything up. We decide who we are. We decide alongside our values. We're coming to celebrate because you've kept us down. We're coming to celebrate what Britain is, the culture, the beauty, the art, all of it. And we put together a celebration with music, gospel bands, celebration, comedy. All of it comes together.
The rebirth of the West.
The rebirth of the Western civilization and the rebirth of community, because they've broken it. And anyone that's come that day...
What they really hate is you've got the Sikhs and you've got everybody else, the Africans, they all get it.
Unfortunately, there's a push which I believe has come from the United States. There's this new push to push and divide based on ethnicity, which is what we're
now, here's the deal. We have to control because they brainwash a lot of the migrants, but the ones that are here, a lot of them are waking up. The ones that join us and sign on to the culture,
they love Britain. I know many of them. They love Britain. They love the culture. They've integrated and assimilated.
Well, I see them. They're wearing the flag. They love it.
They love it. So and we successfully did that. And anyone who looked, the diversity of our crowd was huge. It was everyone who loved Great Britain. And we come there, and I'd say it was more than 1 million. It was millions descended on our capital C. The biggest protest in British history. They tried to play it down. The media said, and this is where Elon Musk is so important, because the media said...
He showed the lie. Well, people say, I can see Elon Musk's ass. No, I love victory. He literally tried to say they own my name. He blocked them.
Elon Musk beamed in live. Well, I interviewed him for 15 minutes in front of 66 million people watched that event. Forget Live Aid. Yeah, this is the biggest, most watched event. Our next one is on May 16th. Now, beyond May 16th, because this is...
You invited me to that, and I wanted to go.
Come.
I've just been told I'm going to be arrested the minute I hit the UK, which is okay, but you get me out.
I expect you would. I
started to get ready to go, and I was told you're going to be arrested.
So May 16th is our next event. And
what happens if I get arrested? You get me out of jail? What are you going to do?
I can't get myself out of jail, but I'm sure Elon might step in and help. No, I believe Donald Trump would step in. If you were put in jail for your speech.
No, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at the next event.
The next event's May 16th. Now, beyond May 16th, this is our vision, yeah? Because you have to have a vision. And where we're losing, we have a vision. We've wrote a 4-year vision and a 4-year plan. It's media. It's media, alternative media, citizen journalists. It's about uniting citizen journalists around the globe under a common umbrella. Give them their independence, let them prosper, but they need help, they need support. They're going up against the mainstream. The mainstream want to crush them.
By the way, guys, he's already done this. You realize this isn't a guy talking. You can see it. He did nothing. He's charismatic. He's done it. We've done it. You can feel history. It's in our hands.
It's happening, yeah. The fight's on. The fight's on, and the fight wouldn't be on without America. That's the truth. That's why I'm so embedded and I'm so blessed to be standing on this ground now, is because without America, when we watch J.D. Vance, when I watch Rubio, when we see them lecturing the European Union about our rights and our freedoms, that's the first time we know someone's fighting for us here. There's a chance here. They've took our speech. They need to take your speech. They need to control your speech. They need to silence you. They need control. They've lost control. They lost control in 2016 when you elected Donald Trump. They took back control. Look what they've done with the election. Look what they've done with censorship. Then you've done again. You fought back the biggest comeback ever with Donald Trump. Then the controls come back in. My YouTube account got turned back on 2 weeks before I got out of prison. That come from your election. I have no doubt. They still won't monetize it. I'm still censored through Meta, which I can't understand. What's his name? Dana White's up in Meta. You can't mention my name on Facebook or Instagram. Why? What? I thought it was an American company that believes in values of free speech. I've never been tried or convicted.
Well, the fact you're still censored shows they fear you. So let's talk about Iran. I want the mullahs gone, but I know that it's a trap, and I'm concerned. I hope it works out. But, I mean, where are you on that?
On Iran, I want them gone. I think that you have to understand the future of Western civilization. Iran is one of the main counters to it. Iran have funded every terrorist organisation, 12 terror plots against my country. How many American troops have been murdered? They embarrassed and humiliated your troops when they took them on the boat. Barack Obama gave them £1 billion a pound. Everyone's surrendering to them. This group and this Ayatollah, this is not like Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein wanted control of Iraq. He didn't want world domination. This Shia, lunatic, Ayatollah, religious fanatic, wants world domination. Their goal, and this isn't just them, so all the proxy groups, Hamas, there is no Hamas without Iran. They're not supported without Iran. Now, Hamas made it pretty clear on October 7th. On October 8th, what did they say? What did their representatives and leaders say? They said New York and London are our goal. It's not like, this is why I get a lot of criticism. And I don't really care, right? Because I stand on my values and I stand on what I believe. I get a lot of criticism over Israel, okay? Now, many people haven't been to Israel. Many people haven't been surrounded by jihad. Many people haven't. But when we talk about Israel, do you not realise that there was problems before 1948? These problems didn't create in 1948. Yeah, take Israel out of the equation.
Well, that whole area used to be Christian and Jewish. They drove us out.
They drove everyone out. And the only Christian population, when people go on about Israel, and they go, the only democracy in the Middle East is Israel. Do you know the only place that's been the Christian population has grown in the Middle East is Israel? Let's look at Syria. Let's look at Iraq. Let's look at Afghanistan. And I'm not being funny. I think Tucker's your friend. I don't want to hear from Tucker Carlson how great fucking Islam is. I don't want to hear from him. I want to hear from Christians who live in Pakistan. I want to hear from Christians in Afghanistan. Do you tell me about what it's like? Listen to people in Europe. I hear about a Muslim-Christian alliance in America coming from American commentators who know nothing what it's like to live with them. You've got no idea what they're like. And then they want to blame Israel and the Jews on causing all this division. They say that I'm created in order to create problems with Muslims. I didn't create all the jihad attacks. I didn't make them behead Lee Rigby.
You didn't make them kidnap your cousin.
I didn't make them blow up 26 people. I didn't make them commit jihad for 1,400 years. I didn't make them massacre Christianity throughout the whole history. All these sexual slaves, the 2 million taken from Spain. That's not my fault. I didn't do that.
Well, the idea that you're controlled is totally insane like me. No, I try to balance it out. And the rest of it, but I totally agree. And I think Tucker means well overall. He knows, like Saddam was CIA, he was actually anti-jihad. They set him up. Yep. Tucker came here to apologize to me 13, 14 years ago and said I was a neocon. So now he's gone the other extreme. I
understand being against the war, and I understand you elected Donald Trump to not be...
No, I'm just saying Tucker just went the complete other direction.
Yeah, but Tucker knows the problem because he used to talk about the problem. So to sit and pretend he don't know the problem, he's a fraud. I'm sorry. And to sit and pretend he didn't know me...
Well, I know this. It would break the internet if he interviewed you.
Well, why don't he? Why don't he? We reached out to him. He said no. Why don't he? Why doesn't he? Instead of sitting chatting shit, which is what he does, instead of sitting lying about, he goes on about Qatar. Qatar funded £1 billion they've spent into Western Europe to destroy it. That's what Qatar has done.
Qatar is funding the Sudan Muslims.
Yeah, and Iran. And their conflict, all the Muslim Brotherhood, all these problems. So the immigration, people say, well, if you go in and you bomb Iran, you're going to cause a mass immigration problem. Most of our immigration at the minute is coming from Sudan. And it's coming from Sudan because Qatar and Iran are funding a jihad in the middle of Sudan. That's where it's coming from. And it's a very different ball game. The war in Iran. As I said, in Afghanistan, when we went in, and I understand it was weapons of mass destruction, total lies, everything was a lie. The whole reason for the war,
and then our own elites flood us with Muslim refugees, which is about to happen again.
Yeah, well, I don't think it will happen.
Well, the experts are saying that this could create a 2016-style migrant crisis.
Coming from where?
I'm saying this war could do that.
But most of the migrants that have left Iran left because of the Ayatollah. So we've already had loads of Iranians flooding the country around the world. And
listen, if the Ayatollah should be sent to Mars, I'd be happy.
And if he's gone, and if his regime is gone, I don't believe Persians are going to flee that country. I believe many of them are going to go back. It's a beautiful nation. Before he took over, and we played our part in installing him. So before he took over, and if you look at Afghanistan, 99% of Afghanistan...
Well, yeah, the CIA overthrew Mossadegh was pro-Western because he wouldn't give the British all the oil.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
And then in 79, they opened the door, yeah.
Well, we have been on the wrong side so many times throughout history. We've been on the wrong side. We were funding ISIS. We created the Taliban. It was all about our geopolitical world points, and we were on the wrong side with the Ayatollah. But right now we're on the wrong side, on the right side. There's 90 million people who are enslaved. They're not Muslims. They're Persians. They're rich in culture, rich in identity. They've got their own identity, and they've had a slavery put upon them. And
I agree with you. My problem is
80% of them.
We already got special forces in the Northwest.
The Kurds are fighting them, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's about to go down. So Trump's like, "Oh, this isn't a war." If it's going to be a war, just say it. I don't like that. I don't like being.
It's going to be, but let's look at. Say Trump doesn't go to war. Say Trump didn't do this, and this isn't Afghanistan. It's not Iraq. It's the Persian people who want freedom. They want free speech, and they will be your ally. They will be a Western supporting ally. They will love forever. You know, next 100 years, in 200 years, they're going to talk about Donald Trump. You're going to have statues of Donald Trump in Persia. They're going to love him. He freed them. He took them back and gave them back safety and freedom. Speak to any Iranians.
But you talk as if the victories have been had.
Well, it looks like they've been had. They've been wiped out massively. All of their religious leaders have been wiped out. You've never seen a victory like this. Look at what he's done with and China. I've asked everyone. I've met General Flynn. I've met lots of people since I've been here. What's the biggest threat to the United States? China. Well, what happened when he went into Venezuela? It's affecting China.
No, he cuts off Cuba, cuts
off Cuba, cuts off China. So this is
now they close the Strait of Hormuz. That cuts off China.
It all cuts off China. Yeah. So in a bigger world view than just freeing the Iranian people, maybe America haven't done it to free the Iranian people, but America will have to look at the interests of the United States of America and you, the American people, and what is your national security. And by taking out the leader of Iran, who's the biggest funder and sponsor of world terrorism, of destroying my nation, of terror plots against your president, they wanted to assassinate him. So in all of this, in the long run, The world's a better place. It cuts off the funding to Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis. It cuts off all of it. It cuts off the destruction that's happening in Sudan. It cuts off a lot of it. And I know people didn't want intervention of foreign intervention and regime change. I see this as totally different. This isn't a regime that's focused on Iran. This is a regime that's focused on world domination. It's like taking out ISIS. It's not a regime. It's not. You don't respect that. People, and I hear commentators here supporting the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. I think, what are you talking about? It's insane. Would you support ISIS? Should we respect ISIS having a state? Because that's what this is. This is in slavery of an entire population of people who want freedom.
I know, but then we watch Turkey and Israel overthrowing Assad and then putting the leader of Al-Qaeda there. That's why people get concerned.
I get it, and that's outrageous as well, what's happened in Syria. It's outrageous what's happened in Syria. He's a terrorist. He's a terrorist, and I get all...
By the way, are you feeling that methylene blue?
I felt it, yeah. Did not see me raging. Come on.
Don't beat me up.
I was asleep an hour ago. But no, I think it's a much more complex... I don't claim to be an expert on it, but I understand the Ayatollah. I understand what he thinks, and I understand the Persian people, because I know many of them. I understand what they've fled. And I look, do you know when I think of this, Americans? Many of you would have been scared after January 6th to protest and speak. I've gone out in some cities here, and people are self-censoring through fear of losing their job. Well, these Persians have been raped and massacred in their tens of thousands. Young children, women. Do you know what? They've still gone out and protested. In Britain, we've got a population who was scared. We've broke the dam. We've burst it. The people are up. They're talking now. They're ready. They're ready for the fight. But they weren't for 2 decades. They were scared of being called racist. So forget being scared of called racist. These people are out on the streets fighting for their freedom.
By the way, Tommy, let me just say, how does it feel to be the detonator? If you had to pick one person, there's been a lot of great people that exposed Islam, what was happening, but we have to say you are the OG, the most successful. You're not into yourself, but what does it feel like to know in history that you have reignited the new crusade?
It feels great. It feels great. As I said, I don't claim to be...
How do the Muslims act when you're in England and they see you?
I actually get a level of respect from them. It's quite mad.
That's the thing, is they're very honest about this.
No, yeah, they know I'm telling the truth. They know I'm telling... I have them come up to me, some of their gang lads where I'm from, and I'm walking through the town, they shake my hand and say, I don't like you. I respect you. At least you say what you mean. And that's why they respect Donald Trump. In the Islamic community, in that culture, they respect strong men, not weak. You see, when you show them weakness, they're going to walk all over it. I made a decision when I started the English Defence League, when I started talking about this, me and my cousin, I said, you see, if we run once, we'll be running for the rest of our life. They need to know you'll fight them. They need to know that. So I'm not saying I'll win a fight, but I will fight. Yeah, I'll be the best loser you fought. I'm not going to win every fight, but I will fight you. So if you want to say something in the street, I'm going to fight you. So once they know that, most of them don't want the fight. They're bullies. They act in gangs.
I was about to say, in the UK dozens of times, and even 20 years ago, I'd be shooting a video of Big Ben, and Muslims would come over like I was filming them and say, you stop that, because they were used to Brits. And I'd say, F you, they'd like back off real quick. They weren't used to that.
Yeah, and we shouldn't apologise for that. I'm not going to apologise for being a man. Like, for too long, we're not meant to fight. No, we're meant to fight. If someone wants to attack you, fight them. And that's not weakness. That's strength. That's a man. And that's what America is showing now, the world. When you show appeasement, which you showed under Biden, weakness, pathetic cowards, he embarrassed the United States of America. You become a bit of a laughing stock on the world stage. Not anymore. Not anymore. America's back. And the world knows it. You think the world's going to fuck around with Donald Trump? They're going to mess around with the United States, the best military in the world. Well, the world now knows that. And I think it's great for the United States of America.
Oh, my God, you're selling me on it all now.
I think it's great for the world. It's great for peace. It's
I know,
great.
but the CIA is going to set Trump up.
They probably are. They probably are, but you know they're going to set him up. So not any longer. They can't set him up without you knowing. You now know. Social media platforms are going to show it. People will realise it. So whereas like 30 years ago, they might have the power to set people up, assassinate people without anyone knowing. That power's gone because of gentlemen like Elon Musk.
All right, we got you some Texas barbecue, but let's do this. I'm going to go to break, come back with the closing comments, and we'll air a promo. I want to air the great new JD Vance football promo, and maybe Sleeping Giant promo. And then, Tommy, I'm going to go eat barbecue with you, and then you're going to interview me.
Come on. Yeah, I want to interview you. From my audience, man, because you're a character, Alex.
Brother, hey, listen. I don't normally travel around. It's hard to get me to go places. You're going to be here a little while. You tell me, I want to go. If you're doing some events or something, I'll come do them with you.
Let's do an event together.
Brother, you name the time, I'm going to be there.
Let's go.
I'm like, got butterflies here. I'm like a fanboy over here, man. Tommy Robinson has got the...
That's versatile.
He's got the juice, folks. He's got the rebellion. He's got the victory. You can feel it. History happening now. We got lightning in a bottle. Tommy Robinson, TommyInUSA.com. Well, I got to tell you, I am just giddy. I can feel the energy of Tommy Robinson in person. I can always feel it over the phone, and then over Skype, and then over Zoom. And I realized last night, I've never met Tommy in person. And then, like I said, he was on the Brianna Morello's show that's on right before mine, so a 2-minute breakdown of the show. And I was late putting on my headset, getting ready. And I saw him down the hall, and I wanted to go say hi. And I was like, no, I'll say hi. So we literally met in person on the air. What a historic moment we're in. And you can see the West coming out of its coma, awakening. You see the left horrified, panicked. We can complain Trump's not doing this perfect or that's not happening right. But at the end of the day, we should all be very, very positive because there's no doubt the fight is on, as you said earlier.
The fight's on. Beyond May 16th, we want. I've met with Salvini. I've met with French leaders. We've got arranged.
By the way, I pledge to you, I'll be at the May 16th event.
Well, beyond May 16th, the next one beyond that, what we want to do is have every capital city in Europe. This is about culture.
Well, I apologize, I didn't come to that.
Yeah, we want every. It's about European culture and identity of every nation, which have all got beautiful celebrations of their culture and their identity. All of them are disappearing. Whereas mass immigration flooded those nations, as the growth of the demographic of the Islamic community, they're changing beyond belief. At some point, Europe needs to unite. I've looked at all these groups.
People ask, why can 6, 7, 8% suddenly flip? Because they all vote as a bloc. They'll act as a bloc. The West is in a coma. Out with the left, that's enough to take over.
They act as in military fashion. They vote in military fashion. You're going to have it here, America. You've got brave people, so you're ahead of the game, really, because you've got congressmen willing to talk up. I've spoke to some of them. I'm going to speak to some more.
Well, because we've seen you getting vaporized.
You've managed to see Europe. But then at the same time, it's still a risk. But although you had 95% vote last night against Sharia, that should hopefully inspire the Republican Party and many.
Yeah, tell people about that. The majority of the states are moving to put it on the ballot to ban Sharia.
They are 95% voted in the primaries to ban Sharia in Texas. I've just looked. Our next video is ready, and our next video is about. I don't know if I just said this I said it on a previous interview. When I come to America, I've met politicians, I've met influencers, I've met YouTubers, I met all these people. I want to meet real Americans. So I approached a couple of Americans who live in Plano, whose grandmother lived there, mother lived there, and they've had to flee. They've had to flee because she was under harassment from Muslims already in the community. And I went to speak to her and tell her story. She breaks down crying. It's heartbreaking to see this is happening to America.
Is that video ready? When's it going to be at Tommy Robinson?
It's ready. It's going on TommyInUSA.com in the next couple of hours.
We're going to post it. You asked for a video an hour ago. We forgot to play it. What was it? It's a minute and a half long.
The video. This is our demonstration. If you want to see what's happening and you want to see how awake this country... I've worked for a decade, over a decade. I've been banging my head against a brick wall. Now, the dam has burst. Trust me. People are awake. People are ready. No matter how much disinformation, they still want to discredit me. They want to turn the public against me. They want to portray I'm making millions and millions, which I'm not.
And we sent them a lot of videos. What's the name of this video we're about to play?
Watch it now. This is our demonstration September 13th. Have a look at this start of this demonstration and see the numbers on this demonstration.
Here it is.
Start to finish. Watch it. Revolution's happening.
The Unite the Kingdom march yesterday, led by Tommy. So between 110,000 according to the Met, 150,000 according to the official police estimates are between 110,000 and 150,000. It looks approaching as big as the Iraq War demonstration all those years ago, and that was 1 million people.
I'm quite convinced it was over 1 million.
Certainly, I knew people there who were saying, 3 million. It wasn't 3 million. It wasn't 1 million.
More than 100,000 people gathering to march in central London, a sea of flags.
Jackie says 150k. I reckon millions were there.
They had to close Blackfriars Bridge and Lambeth Bridge because there were so many people the other side. They couldn't.
150,000 attending yesterday. Are you serious? Look at the drone footage.
Westminster Square was packed solid. The road going up where the march was going to follow was solid.
Lying police and mainstream media are trembling.
Absolutely incredible. People need to visit your official site. You also have a site that's going on just for your trip to the United States, TommyInUSA.com, TommyInUSA.com. And I know you're not sure how long you're going to be here, but at least another month or so. You tell me when and where to be there. I haven't announced this yet. We were not sure until this morning, but the receiver is not going to pay the bills for the internet, and they want to pull the plug. The state of with the corrupt courts. So, barring a miracle, will be shut down. It keeps getting pushed out, but now they're officially sometime in early April. So we need to have that transition. But whether it's before or after that, I want to go to some events. I want to hang out with you, brother. We love you.
Let's do it, bro. And since that event, put the fear of God into them. Do you know the relentless attacks I've faced since then? To try and discredit me, I get called, I'm reading some of the comments on yours, I get called a shill. We're working for Israel. I was invited by the Polish government. I went there. No one said I was working for Poland or paid by Poland. I got invited. I'm here now in America. No one's saying the American government are paying me. When India went to war with Pakistan, I jumped straight out on the side of India. No one said India were paying me. But this accusation of Mossad and all that, it's used as a weapon to try and discredit people, to stop them
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. A lot of them do it because it makes them feel better than you that's been in prison all these times and
a lot of them do it
fought so hard. It makes them feel like a bigger man in their basement with a fake name to say that about you. And, and there's a lot of big money behind it, a lot of money funding it. They say, I work for Israel. And I don't even respond to them. Tommy, nobody cares.
Unless you hate Jews, you work for Israel.
Do what?
Unless you hate Jews, you work for Israel.
Well, my thing is, they say whites are inherently bad, all the rest of the stuff. I have people on from all perspectives. Yeah. And what we're having is a large debate and large discussion. But I want to do this. Because we did this on New Year's, and I left one of these here, and Tommy saw me with it. He goes, what is that? It's just some confetti. But the point is, I want to celebrate the fact you're here. I know you don't drink, that's good, with some champagne. But, man, I really admire you.
Thank you, Alex.
The things you've done. But, brother, I admire people that are strong, that have changed the world, that have been right. And, I mean, I can't think of anybody. And just like there's a whisper campaign against me, there's a whisper campaign against you. Anybody over the target is going to be under attack. And the real people out there of every race, color, and creed, they know Mavericks, they know Outlaws, they know people that are on the cutting edge, and we're doing it. And I'm telling you, Trump's been more persecuted than anybody. I've been persecuted really bad. But you've been persecuted probably worse than anybody. And it's a testament to the fact that you've told the truth and you've been vindicated. So we love you, Tommy Robinson. But I got to say, what a celebration. Boom, baby. So,
come on.
It is so exciting. All right, closing comments, and then I'm going to go to break. My son, Rex Jones, is coming in here because I haven't interviewed him in years. And before this place shuts down, I want to get Rex on air with his co-host, with his popular podcast. And that's really the exciting thing is the bad guys at the Berlin Security Conference 3 weeks ago, at Davos, they admit, we have no confidence. Nobody believes us. We're in trouble. Their internal documents show that. Their globalist order's wrecked. We have to now come into the vacuum and build the pro-Western, pro-Christian relaunch of society and then stand, because just because the globalists are falling apart, what they already set up is still attacking, and we have to reconstitute and call out the enemy, and we're doing it right now.
The counter-revolution's here. And what you need to do, America, is you need to get ready. Because as I said, all the problems I've talked about, all the things I've faced, they're here. They've imported it here. They've purposely organised it to come here. And to the black voters who have been kept on the plantations by the Democrat Party, because that's where they wanted you reliant on the state, they want you broken, they want you in criminality, because they want you voting for the Democrats. They don't want you to aspire to do better. Well, they're replacing you. They're replacing you with a block Muslim vote. You can see it now. You can see it in your communities. You'll be able to see it because they will organise. They won't aspire and start voting for Trump. They will organise the Muslim vote. They will get the Muslim vote, loyal, organised. You will become irrelevant just as white English become irrelevant in many of our towns and cities. Get organised, America. They've imported that problem. It's here.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to continue on for about 20 minutes, and then the guest hosts are taking over. But I want you to enjoy this Texas barbecue.
I can't wait, man.
And then we're getting steaks tomorrow night. But you're speaking at a church tonight, right?
I'm going to a church tonight. Yeah, I'm going to a church tonight to understand what the church are doing. Because if the church don't wake up, I believe your church is starting to wake up, or some of them are. Our church betrayed us. Our church side of Islam. Our church fly rainbow flags. There's a Christian revolution happening. It's not happening within the church. It's happening on the streets. It's happening with young men. And the church betrayed all of us. So I don't think that's a state in America across all your churches. So I'm going to a church tonight. You can follow and see the upload of that video and what that church is doing to awaken its own fellowship on TommyInUSA.com.
And they can follow what you're doing there.
Tommy in USA, every video. I think we've been here 10 days. We've done 50 videos.
You've done well, Lord Vader.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're telling the story, interviewing people, giving inspiration to... I come here to hear from politicians who speak openly in America to try and inspire some of those weak, pathetic cowards back home.
Ladies and gentlemen, methylene blue is incredible. And we have the very best you're going to find anywhere at thealexshowstore.com. What it's done to my clarity, my mind, my focus has just been wild. My workouts have been so much better. We have the best ultramethylene blue at thealexshowstore.com. Here's what some of the guests on the show experienced when they took it, and Joe Rogan and others talking about my transformation that methylene blue has been a big part of.
How is Alex doing these?
He's great. He lost a lot of weight.
I saw he's getting like, yeah, he's ready for the next.
My friend
big...
Sean Johnson's training him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he gets up every morning. He works out for fucking hours. I think he's lost 70 pounds at this point. He looks fantastic, man.
Yeah.
He looks fantastic. He looks like he's 20 years younger.
I saw Alex Jones, and he looks really good, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's losing all weight. Taking back my health.
You're so good.
That's the only impression I could do.
Hey, Alex looks good, man. He lost some weight. He looks good.
Dude, he looks great.
Yeah.
He works out every day. It's like no Ozempic, no bullshit, no shortcuts.
He's definitely one of my bucket list people to meet at some point.
Oh, I can introduce you to Alex.
Yeah.
We can make that happen for sure.
It's so noticeable. I was like, wow, he looks handsome.
I text Alex all the time. I know him. He's just losing weight. But if you go online, there's a lot of people that believe that this is like a different person. He looks great. That's all it is. He looks great.
Here's your daily motivation. Alex Jones is 51 years old. He's been through more shit than you will ever go through. The deep state has come for his life. They have come for his business. They fined him billions of dollars for free speech. Alex Jones has had his rights stripped away. They've tried to take this man's life for speaking truth. Alex Jones went from looking like this to looking now like this. Alex Jones is getting ripped. Alex Jones is getting yoked. It's showing all of us that no matter our age, no matter what's thrown at us in life, no matter how many troubles or trials that we have, what really matters is who you are on the rock-ribbed inside. Do you have gunpowder in your gut? Do you have some grit in your teeth? Can you be a man in the face of all of it? Your promised struggles in this life, can you punch back? Alex Jones is a motivation and a vibe today.
I started having seizures like a few years ago, and everybody in my family knows I'm a neuroscientist.
What did you do to fix it?
Methylene blue.
I'd take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson was on here talking about it.
This stuff works, man.
I take it every day as well. And
yeah, RFK Jr. told me about it.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic.
What is Bobby Kennedy Jr. dropping into that glass of water?
Plenty of folks are wondering what was in that little bottle he uncorked during a flight.
Methylene blue.
Show her Kennedy taking it. Kennedy literally gobbles it.
He must be doing something right. That ripped bod is 73 years old.
You shouldn't have to tell a doctor about methylene blue. I think everybody should know about it. It's changed my life.
It kind of gives you like a boost of energy. It's not like an energy drink where you get the jitters or like you're just ready for the day and you're never going to sleep. It's more so like it clears the brain fog where you're actually, you know, able to focus more clearly.
You feel instant energy, but without the jitteriness of caffeine and focus. What I felt was focus, mental focus.
For me, it's like a fog lifted, but it was like a veil lifted off, you know? Incredible.
It's really interesting. I almost like feel smarter. With methylene blue, I do notice that it does seem to give me more mental energy.
I knew what that did for me. I knew that it got me up and walking again, and I was having seizures without it. And let me tell you something, what a blessing.
It is a miracle, and it's been proven for 100 years. It's one of the most well-proven drugs out there. My kids take it, my wife takes it.
Everybody takes it.
What a blessing. I don't care what anybody says. I know what it's like with it, and I know what it's like without it.
Yeah!